Hey, friend. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Boss Talk with Moet. As you already know, of course, my name is Moet, which stands for Motivation Over Everything That Trends, and I am your motivational queen. Now, we come here each and every week where I bring you guys a different professional who is really doing something in their field, who is really rocking it, everything like that. And tonight is nothing short of amazing, as always. And of course, if you would like to be featured on the show or you want a spot on the show, different things like that, or just a shout out, whatever the case may be, you can DM me or you can shoot me a text at 678-653-2024. That's 678-653-2024. All right. So tonight I have an amazing artist, an amazing individual, somebody that has really been hitting the pavement going hard for their craft, going hard for their career. His name is Deflock. I hope I pronounced that right because I definitely didn't go over that prior to this, but I definitely hope I pronounced that right. So tell the people who you are, what you do, how they can find you, all of that good stuff.
Everybody says it different, but it's Deflock, Deflock, Deflock. Find me on all social media at Deflock, Deflock12, Reptile Gang on YouTube, Deflock12 on Instagram. TikTok is Deflock with two Ks. SoundCloud is Deflock with two Ks.
Awesome, amazing. So let's see. So you're primarily a music artist, right? How
Right.
long have you been doing music?
Um, Probably like 24 years.
Okay. And what got you started into that?
My mom and just love for poetry, love for rap. I was a hip hop baby, born in the '80s.
Nice. There ain't nothing like the hip hop from like back in the day. That's whenever lyricism really played a part, and that's whenever the music really had a message. So, what is your reason like behind doing music, like even now?
It's still fun. I do it for fun, and once I started making money off of it, it was just like a no brainer. Like it's extra income plus I get to have fun.
Okay. And how do you see like the hip hop the way it is these days? Like, we got all different genres, different things like that. What is your favorite genre and how do you see hip hop as a whole?
Um, I would say like majority of the music right now is based off of like geared towards kids, but it's almost kind of the same. It's similar but different. A lot of the stuff that we used to talk about and rap about, they still do. They just do it more melodically, more song wise. It's a lot more artists out nowadays. Music drops a lot faster, so people have a shorter attention span. Albums are a lot shorter. There's more EPs and mixtapes out. But overall, I mean, the concept, the hip hop, the style, and the youth and everything like that is pretty much the same. Geared towards youth in the community and what's hot right now and all the new trends and stuff like that.
Right. And how do you feel about these new trends? Do you feel like they're good or they have their own space or like what's your take on that?
I feel like everybody has their own space now. It's a lot more independent. You don't really need labels or radio stations unless you're like pushing a really, really big record. It's based off streams. I think the pay grade is different. I think that artists make a lot less money off their music nowadays because of streaming and stuff like that. So it's harder to count record sales. It's harder to really count how much your music's actually getting spun because it's spun so many places all simultaneously. So it's hard to track. But other than that, I mean, if you're a high selling artist, you're gonna still make big money. But the lower artists are gonna have trouble making money off streaming. So that's why I always tell younger artists to make sure you selling merch and put merch packages together and sell tickets and because even if you get a check from your music, it might not be a big check, but you get a bigger check with a merch package.
Right, right. And that's like comes with like creating your brand, creating your identity, really being able to cater to your fan base, the people that are following along with you. So, what are some like tips and pointers that you would give somebody in regards to like that aspect with creating the merch, with creating their brand, with doing those things?
Get you a shirt press, come up with some logos, some trademarks, different ideas, different sayings as far as shirts go. Make you a brand that you can match with your music. So, for instance, me, my record label is called Reptile Records. It always has been. And then I also had a spinoff called Thug Mob Entertainment. And I took both of those logos and trademarked them and turned them into a brand. And I started pressing them up on shirts. I changed some of the things like Reptile Records. I made a Reptile Gang. So for the record label, it's Reptile Records with a Z, and our motto is "We spit acid." But for the clothing line, it's Reptile Gang because I want everybody to feel like they can be a member, and it's a clothing line, so it's Reptile Gang Clothing. So it'd be RGC or Reptile Gang Clothing. So that way it separates yourself from the record label.
Nice. That's nice. So, would you, for artists, even like so speaking as you as an artist, would you say that it's better to be what's the word that I'm looking for? Would you say that it's better to be independent, or would you suggest like signing to a label, or like what are your pros and cons whenever it comes to that?
Uh, it depends on the artist. I mean, when you're independent, you got to do all the work yourself, or at least majority of it. You got to build a team, pay a team, do the promotion, the marketing, do the tours, the photo shoots. You got to book your own shows and all of that stuff. And it moves a lot slower because, one or two people, three people only got enough time to book a certain amount of shows, book a certain amount of events and meetings and stuff like that. Where if you sign to a label, it's a major machine where you have 50 to 100 people at your disposal who's all working on your project at once.
Right, right.
But in the long run, independent's better just because you get to own everything. And if one of your songs or albums take off, you get 100% or at least 85, 75% of it versus having to split it 50-50 with the label.
Right, exactly. So whenever it comes to like, do you know anything about NFTs, the way people have been talking about NFTs in artistry, and how do you feel in regards to that?
I feel like it's too early.
Mm,
Um, you can make money from NFTs. You're basically taking art and making it digital and then reselling it online. But in order for you to really make a lot of money, a lot of people got to bid on that art just like they would if you were going to an art gallery. And it takes years, sometimes, who knows how long for those digital pieces of artwork to really become valuable. So it's a long term investment. It's not some overnight Ponzi scheme. It's something where you really got to build a piece of artwork, put it up, get people to bid on it, invest in it, and raise the value of it, which is not easy by any means.
right. I agree in the aspect that you really got to build it up so that way it has value. And I also feel like that's where it also ties into your fan base, because if you got a super huge loyal fan base and you're like, hey, I'm creating this NFT that goes along with my album and it has these certain features and different things like that, then they're gonna be like, ooh, 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 how can I get it? How can I do it? So then you'll be able, I think Tory Lanez had did that, I want to say. Don't quote me on that because I don't really know. But it's just I feel like it also ties into like your fan base and everything like that.
Yeah, it's all combined. Like I said, it comes with the package deal. Like you gotta come up with merch concepts and different stuff like that. Like how Travis Scott did the McDonald's meal and did the shoe deal and stuff, and he's got NFTs tied to that. And if you scan his QR code, you get a piece of the NFT and all of that stuff. It's just a lot of different stuff, avenues that you can link to everything to have your fans, because you're really just trying to feed your fans for real.
Right.
So as long as you got merch and you got stuff coming out that feeds them, it's going to be better for you because that gives them more options to buy, purchase, support, share, whatever you got.
Right, absolutely. So, when you've been doing music for a while, how long did it take you before you actually started seeing income from doing music?
Um, probably a couple years. Couple of years. I had to run into the right people, show me what I needed to be doing in order to make money, and then like it just went from there. Because it started with selling CDs out the trunk, like Master P and them, and driving across the country, selling merchandise, selling CDs and mixtapes out the trunk, selling other people's mixtapes, helping other artists, working for other artists, working for street teams. Then once I met the people I needed to help me sell my album, then we started working together, and then they came up with ideas, and then you had YouTube and MySpace and social media started taking off, and then from there we started uploading our music online. Then I had a guy named Midwest G. He was really into tech stuff early. He started doing a lot of the online stuff for us while we were still promoting in the streets. And then it just went from there. And then eventually we got into the T-shirt game. And then it went from just selling mixtapes to selling mixtapes and T-shirts, and then hats, and then everything else just came after that.
That is amazing because it's such a journey just to go from just starting out just hitting the pavement, really hustling. I'm pretty sure you had a lot of late nights, early mornings just hustling and traveling across the country and traveling different places. And I'm sure you met a lot of different people. So with that, what would you say in regards to what how important would you say it is in regards to like networking and getting your name out there and really like rubbing elbows with different people and seeing how do you, and then also not only just with networking, how do you weed through the people that are just full of BS, because we all know there are a lot of people that are out here that are like that. How would you like tell someone to help them weed through that to be able to get to the people that are really going to help them propel forward?
Um, well, the first thing I would say is this, my dad always told me if they don't got a business card, they're probably not a business person.
Mm,
So that would be the first thing. And then you got to do your research. Make sure that their business card is professional. Make sure they got a website or social media connections so you can look and see what their work is, what they do. Other than that, it's also like, you gotta be able to have discernment. You gotta be able to know who's there for you and who's not, and who's shady and who's not. And you ain't always gonna get it right. Sometimes you're gonna get got. I mean, that's just the name of the game. That's why they call it the rap game or the hip hop game or the music game, because it's a game. You gotta play it. Some people play it better than others. Some people make it farther than others. Some people get got and some people don't. But as long as you got your antennas up and you double checking and crossing T's and dotting I's and making sure that people are as professional as they say they are, I mean, you'll get the better version than the worst version. You'll end up running into more good people than bad people.
right. Amazing. That's so true. And in regards to this, whenever it comes to the career and being an independent artist, how important would you say that it is to really build a team? And how would you suggest like putting the right people around you to help you to continue to propel forward and grow forward?
It's super important. You can only do so much by yourself for so long. Now, finding the right people, that's super hard. I've gone through multiple teams. I've been on different rap groups, different street teams, and everybody has a time and a place and a season. So some groups lasted longer than others, some didn't. But you want to have at least a core group of people that you work with, even if they're not directly on your team. I've been working with the same videographers for at least the last 5 years. Like I've been recording with the same DJ in studios for over a decade. I've been working with the same DJs and stuff, for over a decade. So it's just like building a group of people that you can trust, that you can call and be like, hey, I need to get in the studio right now if you got some time, or I need you to help me record this, or if you're free, you can come do this, or can you give me a deal on this video shoot, or can you shoot a quick video for me real quick? And then once you get that, you can kind of maneuver around, but it's still not better than having your solid team in house where you can just, it's y'all working on projects all together at once. That's the best. Like if y'all maybe, let's just say 4 or 5 people, we all rented a house and put a studio in it and put a video room in it, and we just sat in the house creating content together and writing together and bonding together. That's always going to come out better than having to pay somebody or go outside of your team. But as long as you got a group of people that you can trust, whether you got to pay them or not, that's pretty much the team that you're going to have to start with.
Amazing. That is true. And it's so true because whenever it comes to connecting with people, you do have to sort of have that discernment, and you do have to weed through the people when that you're working with, because you got some people that are there, everybody is in it for their own reasons, right? But you have some people that have more integrity than other people, because some people don't have that integrity. Some people just will try to use you as much as they can just to be able to get what they want. So it's important to be able to build a team of people where we're all working together for the same thing. Even though I might got this over here and you might got that over there, but we still come together and we still build in that way.
Right. Yep. That's a
Absolutely.
fact.
So whenever, like, let's see, it was a question that I was gonna ask. Oh my God. Oh, there it is. So whenever it comes to like a budget, let's talk about budgets for a moment. What's some pieces of advice that you would say to someone that is just starting out in the music career in regards to budget? Because a lot of times you got to have a budget for marketing. You got to have a budget for being able to invest in a video shoot, different things like that. What would you say to somebody that doesn't have the budget right now, and but they would like to be able to have that budget eventually?
Every dollar counts. You gotta put your money where it needs to be, and um, every dollar has a place. You gotta invest. And the budget, I would say, like studio time. The cheapest studio time you could probably get nowadays is $50 an hour. So if I was broke or only making a little bit of money, I would just record. I would go to the studio once a month, $50 a month. In 10 months, you got 10 songs.
Mm,
You know, and sometimes it takes a year to record an album because of the budget, and sometimes it takes a year to record an album because you want to be a little more artistic, and it takes a while to get samples cleared or people to feature or catch up with your DJ or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with dropping mixtapes every month if you got it like that. But if you don't, you just do one song a month, 2 songs a month, and they say, you got 10, 20 songs in 10 months. They all sound good because you're taking your time on each and every song, and you're not spending a whole bunch. By the end of the year, you might spend 2 grand, but it's 2 grand split up over 10 months or 12 months. So it doesn't really hurt as much as going to the studio and putting 2 grand down today. Like, I want to record my whole album today and tomorrow. Here's 2 grand. Unless, like I said, unless you got it like that. But video budgets usually start $200 and up. So you want to be able to spend at least $200-300 a month on your videos if you can. You might want to do every 2 months and then put up 150 this month, 150 next month. Boom. Now you got 300. I'm gonna shoot a music video every 2 months and do like that, and then build the consistency. Once you start getting views and streams and paid, then you can do it more and more and more often. But yeah, don't try to get out here and jump out here and kill yourself trying to be a baller and all of that. It's just being smart with your money. If you make $2,000 a month, put 300, 400 towards your music career, your entertainment career, and spend the rest on your bills and put the rest in the bank. You know what I'm saying?
right. That's amazing. That is such good advice, because I know a lot of times, even whatever the career, but especially in music, a lot of people like to run themselves like ragged, so to speak, because they're trying to keep up with everybody else. They're trying to continuously produce, or they're trying to find something on the back end, but then that's lacking the quality, and then it causes them to suffer on the other side. So in regards to like the studio time, right? Because you know,
Mm.
sometimes people will go to the studio and they'll just hit it. They'll hit it as soon as they get in. They'll go ahead and record
Right.
different things like that. What are some key tips of advice that you would give to someone with to be able to make the most of their studio time?
Have your music already prepared. Pick the track out or make the beat ahead of time. Listen to it, memorize it, write the song, listen to it, rap it in your head, memorize it, and then go to the studio and record it. Because the less you mess up, the more time you're gonna have. So if you can go in there and knock it out in 10 minutes, you know you got what 40 minutes left to record. You could do maybe another song or hey, throw this beat on and let me freestyle of this. But always have all your stuff ready before you get in the studio. Unless you got money like that, do not go in the studio and try to write on spot. Unless you're doing a feature and they request that you come in and write with them on the spot, then that's on them. But don't ever go in the studio and listen to the beat and write to it then, because you're getting charged to write the song.
Mm.
So you might as well get the beat, write the song, then go to the studio and lay it as fast as you can.
That's real. That's real. That is so real. Because I know a lot of times people will go to the studio and they want to hang out and they want to chill and then they want to listen to the different beats that are there and then they want to decide on which one that they're going to use and different. So that is so solid advice. So let's switch gears a little bit. Whenever you were in your moments of like hitting the pavement and traveling and everything like that, what is one of the one of the most enjoyable times that you've had during that experience?
When I was hitting the pavement and touring and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, the women, the women and the weed.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, like, what is one of the most iconic moments that you've had?
Um, iconic. Man, that's a couple. It's a bunch of those for real. Like, aside from winning any type of like local or underground awards or anything like that, the most iconic will probably have to be the people I've met: Puff Daddy, Twister, like Wyclef, KRS One, who else? Sugar Hill Gang, um, Snoop Dogg, Corrupt, um, Ludacris, Rich Regal, Haystack, Jelly Roll. Who else? I mean, it's a long list of people that I've met. Like I met, oh, Fat Joe. I met so many of my idols and stuff, and people that I've come up with that end up getting blowing up bigger than me or whatever. That it's like that's really what it's about for real, for real.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And you named a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of major people. So that is super dope. I can imagine that it's just been amazing just being able to be in the rooms with those people and being around those people and everything like that. So in regards to like your career, your journey and everything like that, what's next for you?
My podcast is called Life of a Future Mogul. You can go on podcasters.com and just look up Deflock, Life of a Future Mogul, and check that out. Possibly a book. Um, what else? More music videos. Let me see. Um, more music videos. Just like right now, my goal is I want to have seven. I'm trying to get to seven incomes.
Mm,
So that's my goal. Like I need seven incomes because that's part of the key of building wealth, having 6 to 7 incomes. And one of those incomes has to be residual.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get to that and I need to be able to make money without having to put in so much work.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So that way my money's working for me and I'm not working for my money. So that's my next level of just sitting back, dialing it down a little bit, putting the pieces together a little bit better so that my money is working better. And like I said, book. Oh, probably documentary. I got a lot of video footage from back in the day. My first album came out when I was in the eighth grade.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was a local celebrity already, popular in school. Played football, basketball. Wasn't that good, but I was good enough. And then my music and my rapping was starting to take off underground and independently. Almost had a couple major deals, a couple situations didn't work out. Stayed independent, found my niche, found my crowd, and just rocked it and been rocking it ever since.
Right. That's amazing. So, what is some tips or pointers that you could give to someone in regards to like finding their tribe, finding their niche? Because I know that's not something that you have it all overnight, right? It's something that takes a process. So, what are some tips and pointers that you could give someone that is in music whenever it comes to finding their niche in their tribe?
Uh, I would like, it depends on the type of music you like. So, like me, I like lyrical music, I like gangster music, I like hip hop music, but I like them all. Like, I would prefer Nas over Tupac, but I like Tupac just as much, if that makes any sense. Like, I listen to Wu Tang, but I also listen to Erica Badu. So it's like you have to find the music that you like, the crowd that you want to be in, because most people want to be a part of the music that they like. So if you do rock, the chances are you're going to end up being a rock artist. That don't mean you can't cross over, because if you see what Jelly Roll did, Jelly Roll was a hardcore hip hop rapper who turned into a country singer, and his first big Grammy award, or whatever he got, won that award, that was his first award for a country song, not a rap song.
Mm,
And he was 40 years old when he did it. So his first number one best song happened at 40 years old. It didn't happen when he first started. You know what I'm
wow.
saying? So that just lets you know there's no time limit. It's just all about good music and how you promote it and get it out there. But, just because you rap and you might be a hardcore, I mean, look at Snoop. Snoop can do anything. But at the core, he's a gangster rapper. And that's what he gravitated to first, and he did the longest. He was a gangster rapper for over a decade. Then he started getting older and started doing reggae and started doing R&B and started doing country music with Willie Nelson. He still will drop a gangster record on you in a minute, like they just did Mount Westmore. But that's because he can always go back to his core fan base. But yeah, basically it's based off the music that you're around, the music you like the most. It's more likely going to be the music that you end up doing. You get your core fan base from that, and then you grow it, and then you start being a little more creative, and then it grows even more. Because, like I said, you might have a rap fan base, you might do a country song, and a country song take off. Now you got a rap and a country fan base. You got to cater to both of them, though.
Mm,
And because that country fan base ain't gonna want to hear that rap shit. You know what I'm saying? They only there for the country. So you might have to drop a country song every couple of months or once a year now, because you got a fan base over there. But you always
right.
have that rap fan base. You know they waiting for you to drop them bars anytime, but you still got to drop a country or a rock song here and there.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone that hasn't gotten into music yet, but they've always thought about getting into music? They thought about like stepping out there and different things like that. What is one piece of advice that you could give
Um, Walk by faith, not by sight.
them?
Try it. A try beats a fail every time. You ain't gonna know unless you try. But if you don't try, you'll never know. So you gotta have thick skin too. You know what I'm saying? Thick skin. Don't take no for an answer. And just remember, it only takes one yes for something to pop off. You might have 1,000 no's. One yes could make you a millionaire.
That's real. That is so real. I know something I always say is that my brother, he always told me that you got to go through your nose to get to your yeses. So you got to be willing to go through those moments whenever people say no, because at the end of the day, you might not be for everybody.
Right.
Everybody ain't for everybody, but the people that are for you are for you. So you got to make sure that you're continuously going through that, so that way you could be able to get to those people that are for you, those opportunities that are for you, and all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of examples. I remember, I mean, for instance, Blueface. It's a lot of people that don't like Blueface, but that didn't stop him from blowing up and becoming a millionaire. I remember when Young Thug first came out, everybody didn't even know what the hell he was saying. But I mean, look at him now. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just depends. People gravitate towards you. You know, you take a risk, and at first people don't like it, then they start liking it, or they don't understand it, then they start understanding it. You know, you got people who put out songs that took. I remember. I think I heard a story about Lizzo. Her first song that blew up, she had been pushing that one song for like 2 years straight or something crazy like that before it took off.
Wow.
Something Fetty Wap, same thing. Fetty Wap, Trap Queen. He had been pushing that song for like a year and a half and selling it in the streets out the trunk before that song blew up. So it just, some songs blow up faster than others. You just got to put the work in and just pray and hope it takes off. And if not, get back to the drawing board.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. So, one last question. If you could go back and talk to your younger self before all of the music, before all of this, what would you say to you?
Work on your sales pitch.
Okay. Okay. Is there a particular reason behind that?
I'll be rich already.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because you definitely have to have a strong sales pitch. Because Grant Cardone always says in a conversation, there's always someone buying and there's always someone selling. So you got to be the one that is selling 9 times out of 10.
That's right. That's right.
Amazing. So let the people know one more time who you are, what you do, how they can tap in with you, how they can stream your music, all of that good stuff.
Deflock, social media, Instagram Deflock12, Twitter Deflock, uh, SoundCloud Deflock with 2Ks, TikTok Deflock with 2Ks, and YouTube Reptile Gang, or just type in Deflock and hit search, and everything, all my albums will pop up. And I'm on all platforms everywhere. So, and I'm still selling records in the streets. So you might see me in your town with a pop-up shop or something like that. So stay in contact. I'll be around, coming to a city near you.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time this evening. Hang tight. We'll wrap this thing up after I close out everything here. Thank you guys for tuning in, whether you tune in live or you're watching the replay. And y'all know what I always like to say is that if you didn't catch any gems, you need to start this over from the beginning and run it back through, because some gems were definitely dropped. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who come here to tune in and spend some time with me and my guests that are on here. Again, if you would like to be featured, or you know somebody that should be featured, different things like that, DM me, share this with them, all of that good stuff. Shoot me a text, leave me a voicemail, 678-653-2024. That's 678-653-2024. And we're out of here. Remember that life is too short to be anything but motivated. Now get out there and turn your dreams into a vision and make that your reality. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.